Hi guys, my name is Heidi and I'm with Opticom, and today we're going to do a webinar on how to implement HDTVI into your existing analog system. This will probably last 10, maybe 15 minutes. It's pretty short. It's really generalized so that anybody can kind of get the gist of what needs to happen as you move forward and make this transition from standard analog into an HDTVI system. So you should all be able to see the screen that's on here right now, which has the slideshow. If anybody cannot see it, you might want to pop a note into the questions form that they have there, and that will notify me of any questions that you have or if something's going wrong. So feel free to do that. Otherwise, we will get started right now. Let me pull this up here. It's a little tricky on my end. Okay. So how to implement HDTVI into your existing analog system. So I know we've got people on here that are from some of our distributors and our sales guys, as well as some of the end users are on here also. So I'm going to keep this pretty general. If you have questions, again, use that little question sidebar there and you can type something in. I've also got a handout that's loaded on here. It is HDTVI installation bulletin. If you were on any of our HDTVI trainings 2 weeks ago, this is the same bulletin. So if anybody's interested in downloading that, you can get that and download a little PDF. It's a two-pager, and that'll be helpful as well. So here we go. So how to implement HDTVI into your existing analog system. So how to make the switch. Step one, the cable. So the big perk of HDTVI versus going into an IP, if you already have an existing analog system, is that we have the cable there. So what kind of cables needed? If you have RG59, RG6, Cat5, any of those already ran, you want to use that cable. This is a huge, huge benefit of HDTVI versus an analog system. The big perk is that it still runs on a BNC cable. So the benefit of switching the HDTVI over IP is that if you've got RG59 in place or RG6, whatever coax you have in place, you can just run the cameras and change the hardware. So your cables are still good. Obviously, they would need to be in good working condition. We can't have cables that are worn out. The same kind of problems that you would be having with an analog system, you would, of course, have with an HDTVI system as well. But you want to use what you have ran, which is going to save you a ton of money on installation and just labor in order to run that, as well as the price of cable. So this is a huge, huge benefit of switching to the HDTVI over an IP system. IP as well has its benefits for those of you who are on the fence about IP versus HDTVI. IP, of course, has its benefits for extremely high resolution. As you know, you can get up to like 12 megapixels now. So the benefits are there for that as well. But for most industrial locations and industrial needs, HDTVI is more than sufficient. In fact, analog's been working for all of you, I'm sure, for years and years and years without any problem. So the HDTVI is a really solid switch on that sense. Step two, so we need to upgrade the video processor. What do you upgrade to is what you're wondering, right? So it's still going to run on a BNC. However, if you've got a quad splitter in place for an industrial site, if you're running and you're not recording and you're just looking for a split screen on a monitor to where you can have one guy watching a line with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 cameras, whatever the case may be, you're going to need to upgrade that because those are built for analog systems and they're not going to support that HDTVI signal that's going to come through. So you need to upgrade. So what do you upgrade to? We've got two solutions for that. So our SVD 2400, which is a small economy type of DVR, that one's a great fit because you can use it. It's still low cost, so you're not paying a huge price increase to get into a DVR unit. Nice low-cost unit that's going to allow you to put the TVI cameras into it and split that screen for you, just like you wanted. And if you want to record, you can, but typically we sell this without a hard drive just to use as a quad splitter. It's strictly a processor. And then we've also got the PXD 3400 series. This one, same thing. So the perk of the PXD 3400 is that it's full-featured DVR. So it's got all the features that you hear about, that you see on TV, things like that. This one has all of those. So if you're looking to record and you want a whole bunch of extra features to go with it, this is the DVR you want to go with. The point of switching the processor first, the benefit of that is you can make that change, and instead of going in and saying, hey, I've got to replace my entire system, you can say, you know what, let me start here, and financially this is going to be better. It's more of a economy type switch in terms of, your finances. So I don't know what your budgets are. I know we've got some locations that, have so much money a month that they can spend. So this would be the first thing you want to replace. You don't want to jump into cameras and monitors, anything like that. You want to switch this processor. Because they're hybrid units, that means you switch out your processor. All of your existing analog cameras are going to continue to work plugged into this processor, and then as you replace cameras, you do the HDTVI cameras, and then they can go into this processor. So our first thing is definitely going to be to either go to the SVD2400 or the PXD3400. This is key because you cannot run the cameras. If you upgrade your cameras, you can't run them on your existing processor or DVR, whatever it is that you may have in place. So you have to switch this out first. So we need to make sure that the first thing we do is the processor, okay? I just cannot emphasize that enough because it's vital to the entire thing. So next, upgrade your cameras. So now you're ready. You've got your new processor in 3 months down the road or all at once, whatever you're going to do. You say, you know what, let's start moving cameras. Or, you know what, I had a camera go bad. Let's go ahead and replace that camera with the newer camera. I'm all set up. So that's going to be your next step. So you're ready for the high definition cameras. So in the industrial world, I know that a lot of you are using our CCO2 camera, which is our analog camera. That is fantastic. We've got the replacement on that. It's still a CCO2 camera, same housing, everything. It comes in a bright safety yellow now for the HDTVI unit. So when you make that switch, you're going to go with the CCO2-TVI. So our typical product is CCO2- whatever the lens size is. So say it's a 2.9 millimeter, it'd be CCO2-2.9. So now it's going to be CCO2-TVI-2.9. So we make it super simple. You can call us up and, anybody. You can talk to our distributors. Hey, which one do I need? And anybody should be able to help you. So that's our next step, right, is upgrading to the high definition cameras. So this is for our industrial world as far as the CCO2 camera goes. As far as our stainless steel cameras, the same thing. We've got those available in the HDTVI. And then, of course, our commercial line, we've replaced all but, I think, 3 cameras into the HDTVI. So same thing with the commercial end. If you're doing industrial or you're going commercial, either way, it's time to start switching out that processor and moving on to the high resolution, the HD cameras. So again, same connection, different signal. So the HDTVI camera looks the exact same as an analog camera, right? So the connection on it is still going to be a BNC connection. The big difference here is that it's a signal. So now you've got an HD signal that goes through it. So that's why when we talk about you have to switch your processor out, it can't accept that signal. It's still a BNC. It'll still connect, but it won't get the signal. You'll get no picture. So that's the perk, again, of the cable with the BNCs. You can run it all on that. So same connection, different signal. Then we've got the industrial and the commercial cameras, as I said before. Both of them are available in HDTVI, and if you're wondering, well, what's the difference? What's the this? There's really not. It's resolution difference is where it is. So you're still going to get a camera. If you were buying a camera that's got a wide dynamic range in it, we've got the HDTVI solution that's got wide dynamic range in it. If you're buying a varifocal, we've got the HDTVI with a varifocal, again, in the industrial and the commercial. So you're still going to get all the same features and benefits out of the analog camera you were buying, except now you'll have a 1080p high definition image with that. So you're not losing anything in that sense of anything. Price points, minimal. So you've got your analog, and that's another perk, is you're not paying for those IP camera prices, which they have come down over the years, but they're still high. So the TVI, minimal price increase, very minimal. So that's a great benefit. You're not looking at a huge system. And in terms of cost, you can just make that switch over pretty easily. Next, so we've got our processor, and then we've got to upgrade our cameras. After that, your monitor. Now, do you have to upgrade your monitor? No, you don't. However, if you want to see that 1080p resolution that you're putting in your processor and through your cameras, then you're going to want a monitor that's going to support it. So when we talk about that, it's not a major issue. The BNC is going to come out of the monitors, and it's going to be an analog. So not out of the monitors, out of the recorders. So when you've got your BNC out on the recorder, or HDMI, whatever the case may be, but if it's a BNC out, it's still going to be an analog BNC out. So you're going to be able to connect to your monitor that you have that's existing. You're going to get an image, and it's going to be an analog image. So that's fine. So if down the road you say, hey, let's go ahead and benefit and use this 1080p resolution that we're paying for, upgrade your monitor. If you already have a 21.5-inch monitor from us, a 21.5 or higher, that's an Opticom monitor, you're all set. It already supports the HDTVI high definition resolution, that 1080p. You're good. Anything lower than that, if you haven't bought it probably in the last month or so, is going to be maxed out at an analog resolution. So again, you do not need to upgrade your monitor if you do not want to. However, if you want to benefit from that high def image, you've got to get a better monitor. And then you're thinking, well, what's the whole point of this? Why am I doing this if I can use my monitor I already have? Why would I even make the switch from analog? Analog, as we talked about 2 weeks ago on these webinars, analog's done. It's over. January 2017, they're no longer going to be making the chipsets for analog. So it's very, very important that you understand that analog's not going to be there forever. So in a month from now, if you say, you know what, I need to add another system, or I need to upgrade my quad, or who knows, I rolled over my quad splitter with a truck, who knows what the problem is, you've got to do this hybrid unit. You've got to do the upgrade that's got a BNC, or an analog and an HDTVI signal in it, because analog will not be able to be found in the next probably year and a half, 2 years. We're giving it realistically 3 years before it's just nowhere on the face of the earth. So it's vital that you understand that it's very important to make this upgrade and make this switch. So again, monitor. Same size options are available. We've got a 19.5 that'll do 1080p, which is going to be the smallest that we have, and then everything up again, the 21.5, the 32, the 42, the 70, 55, all that, you're already set if you have that. So existing monitor may already support the 1080p, is that last bullet right there, which is what we talked about. So again, so you may be set, but the monitor, if you want to see that resolution that you're paying for with that HDTVI and that new processor and everything, you're going to want to upgrade your monitor. All the monitors are still VESA standard, which means they'll mount onto our vibration monitor mounts that we have available. So if you've already got that, we don't need to replace any mounts, anything like that. This is strictly a monitor upgrade that's down the road. Accessories. So if you're using Cat5, you will need to upgrade your video balance. If you've got Cat5 ran throughout your location, you're going to want to go with a TVI video balun. Okay, so that's our VB-HD. So really simple, video balun, VB-HD for high definition, -01 is our basic standard model. So that's what you'd want to go with. It's going to support that HD signal that comes through. Same thing, BNC connection, but you've got to have that HD signal supported. If you're running directly into multiple TVI monitors, then you want the CD102HD-1. That's a mouthful. So the CD102HD-1, it's basically going to replace a T connector. So the old BNC T connector, you know, looks like a T. That's why it's called the T connector. This is going to do the same thing, but it's going to support that TVI signal that's coming through. And then if you're going to run the camera directly to a monitor, right? So if you've got a TVI camera and you want to go straight to a monitor, that will not work with your existing monitor, because again, the monitors that you have in place right now will not take that TVI signal. So if you plug any TVI camera, it's not Opticom's TVI camera, it doesn't matter whose TVI camera, anybody's HD TVI camera, and you want to plug it straight into a monitor, you've got to have either this converter, which is the AD001 TVI, or you've got to have a TVI monitor. So whatever that's going to look like for you and for your application, for your customer's application, you cannot take an HD TVI camera and run it straight into your existing monitor. We've got the TVI monitors available. We've got a 21.5, and then again, we've got the converter. So if you're going to upgrade your cameras and you're going to keep your monitors, you're going to want to get a converter so you can just run it straight into that. So that's very important. Here's a small chart. If you look at it right here, it's just a quick reference, and this chart is actually taken off of the handouts that we have, the one handout that I have on there, that HDTVI installation bulletin. So it's a kind of a quick crossover for our industrial customers. So if you are getting the CCO2 camera, then you've got to switch to the CCO2 TVI camera. Lens sizes, you know, and then there's the example like I was talking about with the part numbers, okay? Same thing. If you're analog, you've got a QS4-8 quad splitter. The equivalent of that would be the SVD2404 4-channel HD TVI DVR. And then again, the BNC-T connector, and we've got the 1 in with 2 out, and then we have another option that's the 1 in with 4 out. And that will work if you want to go from your from a camera out, or if you want to go straight from your processor, your DVR or whatever, and you want to run it to 4 different monitors or 2 different monitors, you can run it right out of that. And then you've got your coaxial cable run with multiple connections. Same thing, that's the HDTVI video amplifier. So this is if you've got cable run with a lot of connections and you're worried about signal loss, then you want to go with an amplifier. And then we've got that AD001 TVI that I was just talking about. That's going to convert that TVI signal so that it can go into one of your existing monitors. Now with that, you can either do a BNC, a VGA, or an HDMI. So it's got a lot of options on it. So you can make that switch that way. So that is pretty much the gist and a general idea of where to go. So if you're confused, give us a call, call your distributor up, talk to them. You can always call us and we'll just refer you back to them, with what you would need to do. But if you want to get a bill of materials or anything like that, give us a call and we can help you out. But again, that first step that you're going to have before you even think about ordering up any kind of camera from anyone, and you're trying to switch out your existing system, is to make sure that you switch that processor out. So you've got some sort of a hybrid that will let you do analog and TVI. Again, so you can make that smooth switch. You replace that, and then you can add the TVI cameras down the road. But if you've got that hybrid unit, it'll accept all of your analog stuff that you already have in place. So that's really important as your first step when you make this transition. So that's it for the day. That is our very brief webinar. I hope that cleared up a few questions for anyone. If anybody has any additional questions, there's our phone number right there. Give me a call. You can chat with me, ask me questions, pick my brain, whatever the case may be. And then we've, of course, got technical support. If you have anything super crazy that I can't answer, you're welcome to give them a call as well. So I appreciate everyone's time. And if, again, any questions, let us know. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much.